Hello and welcome back to From the Depths 1.898 Relics of Niter. Instead of going back to the campaign, it's been a while and I've collected a fair few ships from a very nice person called DamaFleet. You might have heard of him before. If you watched my recent, my review of my Battleship Row, where I did a bunch of my old ships, you'll know him as the person who made a version of a heavy battleship which was called the Pimped version, which was really cool. In any case, these are several vehicles that he has sent in, along with 2 or 3 vehicles, a few that I have made in the interim between Episode 3, Episode 4, and now soon Episode 5, eventually. So yeah, starting off here, this destroyer on the very left is the Metal Warrior, with a nice gun, some BLS tubes, a torpedo launcher in the back, I think. Yeah, it is. And a CWIS turret. Or whatever passes as a CWIS turret in this version, because anti-missile cannon controller doesn't exist in this version. It's a very nice destroyer, if a tad pricey because of the excessive use of metal, which is fine given the fact that, well, it's got a nice set of guns and weaponry. You also see, flying around, is the little plane known as the Dark Avenger. This is the first plane that he's built in this version, and I gotta say, it's nice. It's got a good gun, if a little slow on the fire rate, and it's got missiles for shooting down enemy aircraft. He also says that it could be easily modified to fill other roles, which is nice. Bet I'm gonna use that for like bombing or anti-aircraft especially. This thing here is the Call to Arm Corvette thing, with 2 of the same guns from this ship, so decent firepower, and a few VLS tubes, along with simple weapon autocannons, which in this version actually do damage when they hit, instead of, turning the block a slight shade of gray. It's also made almost entirely out of wood, so it's not that expensive, and in fact I might have found a use for using all of that wood finally. Then over here we have a cargo barge. It doesn't have any weapons, it's just a simple cargo barge. It goes places, harvests resources, and transports material. That's about it. And somewhere under the water here is, this thing. This is the Sleeper Slepnar, whatever you pronounce, submarine that Damadoc has also built, with 2 torpedo launchers. It's very small. I like it. It's cute. And, being a submarine, in this version, submarines are very effective, because, sonar doesn't exist. Therefore, it's pretty hard to detect anything underwater, unless you have a, detector or something underwater, which most ships don't in this version, I think, so, yeah. I'm gonna use this a lot, especially against, the Onyx Watch and Steel Striders. And somewhere in the background, over here, is my still very much work in progress because the AI doesn't know how to fly, super fortress of sorts. A long-range strategic bomber with, a stupid amount of bombs, and, really, really good anti-aircraft turrets on top, bottom, and rear. Yeah, getting things to fly in this version is very difficult. But, yeah. Damadoc and hopefully other people will continue to send in more ships, and that will continue to fill the rosters of my navy, and thus we can have a nice diversity of ships that aren't just, generic light alloy hulls, which is what I seem to be building most recently. For this version, anyway. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just it gets a little bland after a while. But, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, well, yeah. Can't really think of anything else to say other than here's some boats Damadoc made, there's a plane, there's a submarine around here as well, there it is, and they're very cool and I'm definitely going to use them. Really want to fix the B-29 though. I'll save that for later. And building on camera isn't really my thing to dedicate an entire episode to. I might dedicate part of an episode to it like I did with episode 4, but I'm not going to dedicate an entire chunk to it, because the main reason campaigns are fun is because you get to see a lot of action, and the boat's in action, and, blowing stuff up, rather than spending 20 hours building a singular torpedo boat, which will end up being useless because the enemies, have guns that can actually track small targets. Totally not reminiscing on a mistake I made a long time ago. What are you talking about? But yeah, otherwise this is Lecogular, analog, but whatever I'm gonna call myself these days. I'm gonna stick to Lecogular, or COG for short. And, wishing you all a good night, or whatever time it is for you. For me, it's 1 a.m. I should probably go to bed. That seems to be a common trend. I wrap up around 1 a.m. Anyway, goodbye!